Well, happy Good Friday, Messiah friends. We call it Good Friday because of what Jesus did for us on this day. We've talked a lot about the cross the last couple weeks and how the cross reminds us that Jesus bridges the gap between us and God, making us family. How the cross is like Jesus' outstretched arms, including people to show love for you and me, for all nations. We see on Good Friday the lengths Jesus was willing to go, how much he endured, how much he suffered. Abandonment by his friends, persecution, denial, betrayal, lack of support from disciples who couldn't even stay awake and pray with him. We see him put on trial, unfairly judged. We see his disciples that run away and deny knowing him, that try to take matters into their own hands and hurt people. We see crowds being riled up and people choosing others over Jesus. We see him mocked or teased. We see him beaten and bruised. We see him rejected. We see him suffering and ultimately end up dying. And he goes through all that. He endures all that because of his great love for you and for me. Today we're going to be looking at the passage of Matthew, and we would encourage you to look at Matthew chapter 26 and Matthew chapter 27. And maybe if you can't read it all in one sitting, break it apart and read a few verses at a time, maybe 10 to 20 verses, and then go do some other things and come back in the middle of the day and read another 10 to 20 verses, and just see what the last day, the last hours of Jesus' life were like, and know the great amount that he loves us, the great amount he was willing to endure for your sake and for mine. Also that he could bring his outstretched arms around us to say, you are my child. This is how much you are loved. So take some time today and take a look at Matthew 26 and 27. We hope that you will join us for worship tonight, Good Friday, either in person or online. Because looking at this and focusing in on this day that is good for us but certainly wasn't good for Jesus, remind us and help us be all the more appreciative of what we are going to celebrate in a couple days, of the joy that comes with the rest of the weekend, is if we first see what our sins cost and the price that Jesus was willing to pay so that we wouldn't have to experience those things, or that we would know when we do experience things like betrayal or persecution that we're not alone. We have a God who loves us, we have a God who understands and who already endured the worst so that we could be with him forever. So take a look at Matthew 26 and 27, and we'll see you again this weekend for more.